Good afternoon. I'm calling the Assembly Appropriations Committee hearing on January 21st to order. Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Gomez.
Here.
Bigelow.
Present.
Bloom. Benia. Bonta. Here. Calderon.
Here.
Chang. Daly. Eggman. Gallagher. Garcia. Holden. Jones.
Here.
Quirk.
Here.
Wagner. Weber. Here. Wood.
Here.
We have achieved quorum. First up is Ms. Waldron. Ms. Waldron, you have two bills on our agenda. You have Assembly Bill 59, which is on consent, and Assembly Bill 73 with the due pass recommendation. How would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be presenting on Assembly Bill 73.
Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Assembly Bill 73 is a bipartisan
Move the bill.
that creates an expedited 48-hour appeal for HIV/AIDS Medi-Cal patients so they can access the drugs that they need and have that opportunity. And it passed Assembly Health Committee unanimously with lots of support, and I urge your aye vote.
Thank you so much. Witness in support?
Mr. Chair, members, Rand Martin on behalf of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation in very strong support of the bill. We ask for your aye vote today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Individuals from the public in support, witnesses in opposition, individuals from the public in opposition, Department of Finance.
Thank you. Brennan Murphy with the Department of Finance. I would just note that the Department of Managed Healthcare estimates the costs associated with the implementation of this bill to be minor and absorbable. However, the Department of Healthcare Services would likely experience administrative costs to implement the expedited appeals process for Medi-Cal beneficiaries. In addition, this bill could result in significant increased drug spending by Medi-Cal managed care plans by covering more expensive drugs that are not currently on plan formularies. This increase in cost could result in an increase when rates are redetermined.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, would you like to close?
Thank you so much for your support, and on behalf of AIDS HIV patients, I urge your aye vote.
Thank you. This bill has a motion by Quirk, a second by Bigelow, and it's out on an A roll call. Thank you so much. Your bill's out.
Thank you.
Mr. Gordon? Mr. Gordon is presenting for Mr. Levine. Let's see, hold on. Mr. Levine has two bills on our agenda, AB 1233 that enjoys a due pass recommendation, and then AB 1494 that also enjoys a due pass recommendation. How would you like to proceed?
Yeah, let me present briefly on both.
Thank you.
And allow me to channel my inner Marin County. And thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Please present AB 1233. This bill would provide that a public subsidy is de minimis if it is both less than $250,000 and less than 2% of the total project cost. We voted last year on an identical bill that was vetoed by the governor. The author is working with the Department of Industrial Relations and the administration to address concerns that were raised in the veto message. The costs, as stated in the analysis, are minor and absorbable. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you so much. Witnesses support. Individuals from the public in support.
Move the bill.
We have a motion by Quirk, a second by Weber. Any opposition? Department of Finance.
I note that this bill will have no state general fund impact. However, the Department of Industrial Relations does not anticipate any fiscal impact on state agencies. It estimates the clarification in this bill may result in fewer determinations being requested regarding the definition of de minimis. It is not anticipated that there would be additional projects for DIR to monitor, since some developers that would now be required to follow prevailing wage law may decline to accept public subsidy to avoid prevailing wage liability.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you so much. We have a motion by Quirk, a second by Weber, and this bill is out on a B roll call with Chang not voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me present on for Mr. Levine on AB 1494. This bill seeks to uphold the First Amendment right of voters to engage in political speech by expressly allowing voters to take photographs of their ballots and share them via social media.
Second.
We have a motion by Eggman, a second by Quirk. Please continue if you like.
Yeah, as the bill moves forward, the author pledges to work with the Secretary of State on how to clarify the permissible use of smartphones and similar technologies in polling places. He thanks you for consideration of this issue, and Mr. Levine respectfully asks for an aye vote.
Thank you
I
so
do
much.
too.
Witnesses in support? Individuals from the public in support, witnesses opposition, individuals from the public in opposition. Seeing none, Department of Finance?
According to the Secretary of State, this bill will have no fiscal impact on them at this time.
Great. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, we have a motion on the bill and a second. This bill is out on a B roll call with Chang and Gallagher, aye. Would you like to present your own bill now?
Please. Finally. I have one bill on suspense. I'll not present that. I'll waive. I will present on Assembly Bill 241.
Thank you.
This would give a voice to retired employees in local agency bankruptcy proceedings. Ideally, interested parties such as creditors, bondholders, and employees work with a public agency to reorganize debt. Unfortunately, individual retirees are not generally in a financial position to participate in these proceedings. To solve this problem, AB 241 would provide specific circumstances to allow these employees, former employees, retirees, to organize and be participants in the bankruptcy proceedings. This legislation attempts to address a narrow circumstance where there's a practical need to share information for the organization of retired employees. The committee has identified no reimbursable fiscal impact, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Witness in support?
Mr. Chair and members, Pat Moran with Aaron Reed and Associates representing the Retired Public Employees Association. This bill has received no votes in 2 policy committees. It's a good bill, and we request your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Individuals from the public in support? Witnesses opposition? Individuals from the public in opposition? Seeing none, Department of Finance?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Finance estimates this bill has no state-level fiscal impact. The requirements imposed by this bill would not result in a reimbursable mandate since they are downstream of an agency's voluntary decision to declare a financial emergency or file for bankruptcy. Local agencies may not claim reimbursement for costs stemming from voluntary actions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, we have a motion by Quirk, a second by Weber. This bill is out on a B roll call with Chang, aye. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Is it here? Yes. Mr. Nazarian, you're up. Mr. Nazarian, you have one bill before us, AB 796, and enjoys a due pass recommendation. How would you like to proceed?
I'll just take a moment and make a presentation.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. AB 796 directs the Board of Psychology, thank you, to develop a list of evidence-based treatment modalities for the purposes of insurance coverage, as well as extending the sunset date on the insurance mandate to January 1st of 2022. It's enjoyed a no vote, and I ask you for your kind support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Witness in support?
Jim Lantry with the DIR Floor Time Coalition of California, and I also ask for your aye vote. I'm here to answer any questions if the committee has any.
Thank you so much. Any individuals from the public in support? Witnesses in opposition? Individuals from the public in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file, Mr. Chair.
No file. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, would you like to close?
Ask for your support, respectfully.
Thank you. We have a motion by Eggman, a second by Quirk, and this bill is out on a roll call. Thank you so much. Miss Irwin, I think you're out of practice a little bit, but I know you like to present on suspense bills, so you're up.
AB 1348 is a bill that will help California bring back more of our federal tax dollars through the competitive grant process. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, California received over $37 billion in non-Medicaid federal grants, $20 billion of which was awarded through a competitive process. Both totals were far below the national average compared to GDP. AB 1348 would address this disparity by establishing a federal grants administrator to coordinate and maximize federal grant opportunities in the state and local governments in California. 10 years ago, the state of Maryland established a federal grant office and since then has continually outpaced other states in securing federal grants, supporting jobs, and offsetting other state budget funds. In addition to the dollar-driven mission of the federal grants administrator, the bill will create a critical resource for local governments pursuing their own grants through point of contact network among state agencies, local governments, universities, and foundations. Given that the typical competitive grant ranges in the millions of dollars, even small improvements in the cumbersome process of identifying, applying, and competing for federal grant dollars can mean huge returns for California. Thank you.
Thank you. Witnesses support? Individuals from the public in support? I don't see any opposition. Department of Finance?
The Department of Finance is opposed to this bill because it would result in ongoing general fund costs that are not included in the current governor's budget. The Office of Planning Research estimates the need for an ongoing $200,000 in 2 positions to implement the provisions of this bill.
Thank you. Questions or comments for the committee members? Seeing none, would you like to close, Ms. Irwin?
I would just like to state $200,000 is really nothing. If this brings one grant into the state, it will more than make up for that. And I ask you for your support as you go through the process.
Thank you. It's on suspense, and we'll deal with it when we take up the file. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Linder, you have 2 bills before us. You have AB 1238, which is on suspense, and AB 1364, which is on consent. Which ones would you like to present on?
Well, you want me to present on the consent one? No,
if you want, but then somebody might object to being on consent.
So. No, I kid. I appreciate that it's been added to the consent calendar, and so I will speak on behalf of Assembly Bill 1238. And I appreciate your time and respectful of it, so I'll make it extremely brief. I, too, have very important meetings in the district that I have to catch a flight for, so I want to respect your time as much as possible. The bill before you, joint authored by myself and Assemblymember DeBobney, in a similar form, actually almost identical form, was passed out of this committee on a unanimous vote when it was sponsored by the County of Los Angeles in the previous session. Recently, the Department of Health articulated to the committee that this bill will create a cost pressure of over $150,000. And I'm here to assure the committee members that this bill is indeed permissive. It can be implemented today without a single change in how the state processes vital records requests. AB 1238 will allow counties, if they choose, to save time and money. There are many counties in support. CSAC is in support of the bill, and I want to thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you so much. Witness in support?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Faith Conley with the California State Association of Counties. Just wanted to echo the author's comments. We are a co-sponsor of the bill. Really quickly, I wanted to just advocate for the bill based on the fact that this will help us provide necessary services as well as the vital records for those that are not residing in the county. That includes military personnel that are overseas, as well as the transient population who are not able to afford the notary affidavit for their vital records and again to the county offices at a reasonable time to get their records. Also wanted to let you know that the rural counties are in support of the bill, as well as the Urban Counties Caucus and several veterans organizations. So we'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, in support of the bill.
Thank you. Snuck up on me, sir. Witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, Department of Finance.
No file, Mr. Chair.
No file. Questions or comments for the committee members? Seeing none, would you like to close, Mr. Linder?
When this comes off suspense, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members. Thank you for allowing me to present Assembly Bill 821, which seeks to support California tax collecting efforts by exempting medical cannabis businesses from having to pay sales and use tax through an electronic funds transfer. Currently, all sales and use tax payments, in excess of $10,000 a month are required to pay through the EFT. This requirement makes tax collecting more affordable and also more convenient for those in business. However, businesses in the medical cannabis industry has been rendered unbankable due to the fact that the medical marijuana is still considered illegal at the federal level. This has made it hard to comply with the law, leading to most of those established, which is about 50,000 medical marijuana businesses, to use cash as payment for their taxes. Current law provides a case-by-case based waiver, but this can only be cumbersome. However, the bill still seeks to provide a comprehensive solution by giving medical cannabis an exemption. This bill will save the state money by reducing the administrative burden associated with the appeal process. Here with me to support and provide supporting testimony is Camille Dixon, representing the chairman of the California State Board of Equalization, Mr. Jerome Horton.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Gibson. Again, good morning, honorable chair and members of the committee. My name is Camille Dixon, and I am testifying on behalf of Jerome Horton, chairman of the State of the Board of Equalization. Chairman Horton supports AB 821, which would provide the BOE discretion to allow businesses to pay their tax liabilities by means other than electronic funds transfer, without penalty when necessary to facilitate the collection of taxable amounts due. Current law states that taxpayers whose estimated liabilities are $10,000 per month or more are required to remit their taxes by electronic funds transfer and must pay penalties of 10% or 6% for prepayments if they fail to do so. The penalties can be waived, but the waiver must be requested and obtained with every payment, which, as Assemblymember Gibson just mentioned, is an administrative burden and costs the state more money. Additionally, cash is legal tender, and we should not penalize medical cannabis businesses for paying their taxes in cash. To do so will result in noncompliance, and as I'm sure you are aware, we want to bring in as much revenue as possible to the state of California for vital services. The legislative change will result in an increase in voluntary compliance and allow medical cannabis businesses to meet and comply with the tax code. Thank you so much for your time, and I respectfully request for your aye vote on AB 821.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Seeing none. Individuals for the public in support?
Marvin Pineda with the United Cannabis Business Alliance, a trade association out of Southern California. We represent cultivators, manufacturers, and dispensaries in strong support. We have no banking, so this is one step to help us comply with the law and to also report our taxes with BOE. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amy Jenkins with Platinum Advisors on behalf of the California Cannabis Industry Association in strong support.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition?
Karen Liggett, I'm in opposition to it. I'm not for the pot businesses in California.
Thank you so much. Any other individuals in opposition? Seeing none, Department of Finance?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Department of Finance is neutral on this bill because it allows medical marijuana dispensaries currently unable to hold bank accounts to pay their sales and use tax without incurring penalties for not paying via an EFT. Board of Equalization estimates that the administrative cost of implementing this proposal would be minor and absorbable, and that it has no significant effect on state or local revenues.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, you have a motion on the bill by Weber, a second by Quirk, and this bill is out on a B roll call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gray, you have three bills with us. You have AB 1244, which is due pass with technical amendments, AB 1346, with a due pass with amendments to require OES to ensure emergency plans are consistent with safe climate adaptation strategies and policies on or before January 1, 2018. And you have AB 1437, which is on suspense. How would you like to begin?
Let's begin with AB 1244. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members. AB 1244 gives us additional flexibility in our water.
Second.
Respectfully ask for your aye vote. I'll accept the technical amendments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gray. I don't see any witnesses support, individuals in support. Any opposition? Department of Finance?
No file, Mr. Chair.
No file. Questions, comments from the committee members? Seeing none, we have a motion by Bigelow, a second by Quirk. This bill is out on a roll call. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. AB 1346, we will again accept the recommended committee amendments as author's amendments. No opposition to the bill. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We have a motion by Holden, a second by Quirk. I don't see any witnesses in support, individuals from the public in support, or opposition. Department of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. According to the Office of Emergency Services, this bill will not have a fiscal impact because OES already regularly updates the state emergency plan. Therefore, Department of Finance is neutral on the bill.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, we have a motion by Holden, a second by Quirk. This bill is out on an A roll call with Gallagher not voting. You have now 1437, which is on suspense.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, AB 1437 will establish a first-in-the-nation framework to license and regulate daily fantasy sports. Here in California, we're going to ensure consumers are playing on websites which provide comprehensive consumer protections, which is currently lacking. Members, the growth in this industry has been astonishing. The estimates are suggesting that player entry fees will soon exceed the total amount wagered annually on all sports in Nevada. These same estimates predict daily fantasy operators will take in $17 billion in entry fees by 2020. California alone is estimated to account for 10 to 15% of that market. As a state, we have an opportunity to lead the way and set the tone for how to balance consumer protections with consumer demand in this industry. AB 1437 will put safeguards in place to ensure games are fair, prohibit underage usage, prevent compulsive play, safeguard against identity theft, and ensure consumers are competing on a level playing field. That is our primary goal here, members, and I would respectfully ask for your aye vote when this comes off suspense.
Thank you so much. Any witnesses in support? Individuals from the public in support?
Good afternoon, Chairman Gomez, and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Griffin Finan. I am counsel for government affairs for DraftKings, one of the two leading daily fantasy sports operators in the space. We are neutral on this bill, but we urge you to move it forward. DraftKings thanks Assemblymember Gray for introducing this important bill. While the bill is still a work in progress, DraftKings is eager to work with the author and other members on a revenue model that makes sense for the state but does not crush the industry. We look forward to continuing to work with Assemblymember Gray and this legislature to ensure that Californians can continue to play the fantasy sports games they love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any witnesses in opposition? Individuals from the public in opposition? Seeing none, Department of Finance.
No file, Mr. Chair.
No file. Questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, Mr. Gregg, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray, just to, I know there's some questions regarding some outstanding issues. We're not taking those, we're not addressing those issues here today. As it goes on suspense, we'll determine, you'll have the opportunity to address those as the bill moves forward if it gets off suspense. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. All right. Dr. Weber. Okay. Give me some water.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members.
You have a due pass recommendation?
Yes, I do. For AB 1381, a sustainable asset appraisal. And renewable assets and retrofits have quickly become fixtures in residential.
Move the bill.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Quirk, a second by Wood.
And commercial markets as a way not only to save on energy costs but also increase the value of property. As this growth of popularity has happened, we consistently have concerns that in many places these assets are not properly appraised on homes. AB 1381 addresses this problem by requiring real estate appraisals to obtain education and valuing sustainable real estate assets. We work with the opposition, the Appraisal Institute, and have committed to removing the continuing education portion of the bill. And because of the time limitations, we're aware of that we will have to basically make that amendment, and we're committed to making the amendment on the floor. We respectfully ask for your aye vote for 1381.
Thank you so much. Any witnesses in support? Individuals from the public in support, witnesses in opposition, individuals from the public in opposition. Department of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Finance is neutral on this bill and would note that the Department of Consumer Affairs indicates that any costs related to the notification and verification of educational requirements resulting from the bill will be minor and absorbable. Finance concurs with that estimate.
Great. Questions or comments from the committee members? Mr. Jones and then Ms. Eggman.
I just want to say briefly thank you, Dr. Weber, for recognizing the concerns that came up in B&P and continuing to work on them.
Well, we will, and that amendment will be made on the floor, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Eggman?
Same issue. Thank you for working on this, Dr. Weber. I wasn't able to support it in B&P, but I think it's fine to move ahead now with your commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, Ms. Weber, would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for aye vote for AB 1381.
Thank you so much. We have a motion by Quirk, a second by Wood. This bill is out on a B roll call with Chang and Jones not voting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Vice Chair.
Our next presenter is Mr. Gomez. You have a couple of bills on the calendar today. One is on suspense, and one is for presentation. What's your choice?
Well, I'm going to have to break my rule and my own rule and present on suspense as well. Do as I say, not as I do. That's what I'd like to present first on Assembly Bill 581. Today I'm presenting Assembly Bill 581, which will increase transparency and inform Californians of...
Move the bill.
Second. Thank you so much. It's a great bill. I ask for your aye vote.
Very good. Are there any witnesses in support? Any witnesses in opposition? Department of Finance?
The Natural Resources Agency indicates this bill will have no fiscal impact. Thank you.
Any questions from members? Seeing none, that bill is out on an A roll call.
Thank you so much.
Now for AB 700.
Now I'm presenting the bill that's on suspense.
We have a short time frame, so would you...
It actually pains me, but Mr. Vice Chair and members, I'm presenting Assembly Bill 700. Knowing the true identity of the messenger is critical to being able to evaluate the credibility of the message. For example, when someone comes to us to ask for our vote on a bill, we want to know who the client is. The same rules or transparency about the identity of the messenger that apply to us when someone asks for our vote here ought to apply to when someone asks for the votes of our constituents at the ballot box. This is what AB 700 is all about. AB 700 requires the three largest funders of ads about ballot measures or candidates to be shown clearly and unambiguously on the ad. And while there are drafting refinements that should be addressed to guarantee that voters are no longer deceived, we are closer than ever before to seeing an end to the time when voters are on ads are routinely and legally misled. While the right to vote, for the right to vote to be meaningful, it must be a right exercise free from deception. I ask for an aye vote. With me is Ed Howard, representing the sponsor of the bill, the California Clean Money Campaign.
Mr. Chairman, members, good morning. Ed Howard for the California Clean Money Campaign.
As Justice Kennedy has written in rejecting constitutional challenges to disclosures and disclaimers such as are embraced by this bill, quote, "The resulting transparency enables the electorate to make informed decisions and give proper weight to different speakers and different messages." And as Justice Scalia has written in likewise rejecting challenges to anonymity in participating in the political process, quote, "Requiring people to stand up in public for their political acts fosters civic courage without which democracy is doomed." The justices are right. This is a very important vote, a very important bill, and we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much. Are there any other witnesses? Any witnesses in opposition? Any comments from finance at all?
No file.
Thought so. How about questions from members? Well, Mr. Gomez, author of this wonderful bill, as you know, this item will be taken up under suspense. We'll give it all due consideration, the best we can do.
Thank you so much. And I ask the members to make sure that my bill gets off suspense, so I greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Our next bill is 1395, AB 1395. Mr. Calderon, I believe you're going to speak for Mr. Salas, the author.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 1395 incorporates violations of gambling laws into organized crime and money laundering statutes. Despite existing law and court decisions, examples of illegal sweepstakes gambling cafes have emerged. AB 1395 would provide law enforcement with the necessary tools to combat and get egregious cases of organized illegal gambling. The California Department... Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote. Looks like it's just me.
No witness. Any witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, Department of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. While the Department of Justice was unable to provide us an estimate of costs related to this bill prior to the completion of the analysis, we believe any workload related to the provisions of this bill are likely to be minor and absorbable.
Questions from members? Mr. Wagner.
I'm actually going to start up front and apologize because I know this isn't your bill and you don't have witnesses here. But I've got to say, in looking at it, I think it's perhaps a little bit broad, and I'm hoping, frankly, I'm misreading it. But it seems to me that what this does is it takes any gambling violation that currently is a misdemeanor, and since it will naturally involve money, could conceivably make it in any one of these little cases into automatically a felony. And am I misreading it, or is it really that broad? And if so, how do we actually have any hope of getting it out of this House and signed by the governor when, in fact, we're going in the opposite direction so that we're not increasing our prison population? I just don't know how this works.
Well, I mean, it's a great point. It's something I'd be more than happy to bring up with the author. I think the kind of the issue that we're facing here with these internet cafes is they keep popping up, and they're always one step ahead of the government, and they're always creative. And so this is a bill trying to get one step ahead of them being able to not get ahead of us so that we can't regulate them, because they're saying, oh, it's a game of skill, and they're using loopholes within the law so that they can do their gambling sweepstakes. And this is an attempt by the author to keep them from always finding a loophole and exploiting that loophole so that they can essentially do organized gambling that should be illegal under the law.
But the bill, though, specifically calls out things like illegal slot machines and drugging a racehorse. And I'm just wondering, how do you money launder by drugging a racehorse, or how do you effectively money launder, I mean, you know, even a $1 or a $5 slot machine? How do you money launder the vast amounts? I mean, I just, again, don't understand really the mechanism of this bill and how it gets to what it's supposed to get to, which is important to get to.
Well, I appreciate the question, and I'll talk to the author, and maybe I could have his staff get you something that could answer your questions.
Okay, then you know, under those circumstances, I mean that's why I'm going to abstain today and take a look at it later. Maybe
Thanks.
we can understand it better. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions from members? If not, this item is out on an A roll call with Chang voting aye and Mr. Wagner not voting.
You said A with Chang I, and that would be implied in an A. Do you mean a B?
I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction, Member Wagner. I appreciate that. My note wasn't very clear here. So you are not voting.
Correct.
And it's an A roll call.
Got it. Thank you.
And
Ms. Chang really likes the bill.
Ms. Chang is really,
Okay.
really liking it.
Can I get a motion for the consent calendar? We have a motion by Holden and a second by Wood. These bills are out on an A roll call. All other bills are on suspense, and we will take up suspense file in a few minutes. Thank you so much.
You need more water?
Okay, we're going to take up the suspense file now for the 2-year assembly bills. Everyone ready? Do we need to read a motion or anything?
I'll just read the first one, then you do the substitute motion. We'll do the first
Okay.
one.
First bill is Assembly Bill AB 26, Jones Sawyer, medical marijuana training programs, do pass with technical amendments to, 1, impose a fee for
Move the bill.
We have a motion by Quirk, a second by Holden. All right. 1, to impose a fee for training program approval. 2, make each licensing agency responsible for approving training programs that pertain to their licensees. This bill is out with Republicans not voting. Now move to substitute this roll call for subsequent roll calls. Motion by Quirk and Holden, and second by Holden. AB 45 Mullen, household collection and disposal of hazardous waste, do pass with amendments to strike the local jurisdiction mandate, instead require Cal Recycle 1 to adopt, in consultation with stakeholders, a model ordinance for comprehensive household hazard waste collection program. 2, to determine whether an appropriate nonprofit has been created and funded for grants to local jurisdiction for educating residents and defraying costs. The amendments also contain a sunset provision and make other clarifying and technical amendments. Out with Republicans not voting. Assembly Bill 268, Dababne, routine oversight of finance lenders and brokers by the Department of Business Oversight, do pass with Republicans not voting. AB 492, Gonzalez, diaper vouchers for CalWorks children daycare, do pass with amendments clarifying the implementation process and definition and other amendments. This bill is out on a B roll call. AB 501, Levine, sharing of state-funded Delta research data, do pass with amendments to narrow the provisions and reduce cost. Out on an A roll call. AB 508C Garcia, maternal mortality and morbidity study by the California Department of Public Health. Do pass with amendments narrowing and further specifying the report. Out on an A, roll call. AB 598 Rendon, Family Child Care Home Education Networks. Do pass with amendments to 1, change the author to Assemblymember Calderon, 2, remove the universal complaint procedure, 3, make other technical and clarifying amendments. Out on an A, roll call. AB 700 Gomez, enhanced campaign advertising disclosure requirements under the Political Reform Act. Do pass with Republicans not voting. AB 717 Gonzalez sell and use tax exemption for toddler diapers until January 1, 2021. Do pass with amendments to sunset the tax credit on January 1, 2022. Out on an A, roll call. AB 885 Lopez, foster youth reentry into extended foster care. Do pass with amendments to 1, ensure that non-minor adoptive parents and guardians receive prior notice of court hearings, and 2, clarify that a non-minor dependent can voluntarily reenter the system provided that their adoptive parent or guardian is no longer receiving payment on their behalf. Out on an A, roll call. AB 1005 Gordon, extension of the plastic market development program at the Department of Conservation. Do pass on an A, roll call. AB 1180 Christina Garcia, bill payment options for customers of investor-owned utilities. Do pass on an A, roll call. AB 1196 E. Garcia expands permissible activities of the Commission for Economic Development Holding Committee. AB 1238 Linder electronic verification for vital records Holding Committee. AB 1300 Riley Thomas modifies the state process for involuntary mental health detention. Do pass with amendments to strike the majority of the bill's context except for provisions requiring non-designated hospitals to notify counties of involuntary detained persons that arrive at their emergency departments. A, roll call. AB 1336 establishes the Community Climate Improvement Program at the Strategic Growth Council Holding Committee. AB 1348 Irwin creates the Federal Grant Administrator in the Office of Planning and Research. Do pass on an A, roll call. AB 1437 Gray established the Internet Fantasy Sports Game Consumer Protection Act. Do pass with the Republicans not voting. AB 1449 Lopez expands eligibility to transfer Cal Grant Entitlement Program. Do pass? A, roll call. AB 1546 Olson, study of security features for vital records. Do pass? A, roll call.